Okay, so I had some issues with Escape from Tarkov, especially with frame stutterings and frame drops. It would just happen every like minute or so. Every time I aimed down sight, I would get fucking wrecked by frame drops. It was horrible, horrible, horrible. So the first thing you should probably do is get a memory cleaner, especially if you have lower amounts of memory. I know it really helps if you have 8 gigabytes of RAM, because 8 gigabytes of RAM is, I would say, is not enough for Tarkov. You probably need 16, but with this you can probably pull it off. So what this does is it will automatically clean your memory. You can do it manually as well. You can see it cleans a lot of the memory. To automatically clear the memory, you can do 80%. So as soon as your memory reaches 80% of workload, it will automatically clear it. It won't clear your game's memory though. This is only for system cache and other processes that are not being used at the moment. So it saves a lot of memory for Tarkov, because Tarkov will eat your memory because it has a lot of memory leak issues. So another thing you should probably do is, well, obviously you need to shut off a few applications. If you have Spotify open, shut it off. If you have Discord open, you can leave it on. If you want to talk to your friends, do it. It shouldn't matter that much. The memory cleaner should take care of any issues, but I recommend shutting off most applications that you really don't use, especially Steam, because what Steam will do is it'll download things in the background, because it doesn't see that Escape from Tarkov is currently open. So it'll think there's nothing running, and when it thinks there's nothing running, it'll start updating all your games. So you could have some fucking Hitman updating out of nowhere for like 3 gigabytes, and you'll just get like 300 pings because of it. So I heavily recommend just closing out of Steam whenever you want to play Escape for Tarkov. Obviously, wallpaper engine, pause it, because it will eat up memory. Also, I think it takes like 3 or 4% of your CPU, which is not good, especially for Tarkov. But you can also shut it off completely, which will really help. Now let's do some quick fire options. This is something that will really help you, especially if you're having aim down sight issues where you'll be stuttering as soon as you aim down sight. It gets you killed all the time. It's very annoying. Just go to where Escape from Tarkov is installed, right click on the exe, go to properties, go to compatibility, and make sure override high DPI scaling behavior scaling performed by application is enabled. If it's not, you'll still be getting those issues, which I don't understand why the game is like this, but that's on the developers, I guess. Another one is your power settings. This one you'll probably be told out a lot, but I still want to mention it just in case. You want to go here, you want to go to additional power setting. Make sure this is on high performance. There's other option, make sure it's on a power saver or balanced. Obviously balance is better than a power saver, but high performance is the best one. Alright, this is completely optional, but if you're really struggling to get performance in your games, if you have an Nvidia graphics card, it's also possible to do it on AMD, but I'm not familiar with AMD cards, so you'll have to find other methods for this. But you can overclock your graphics card. Personally, I use EVGA Precision because I have an EVGA card. It's very helpful because you can overclock your VRAM, you can overclock your clock speed, you can set up custom fans, so you can have a custom fan curve. With the custom fan curves, you can set up to where you want it to start cooling. So let's say at 50 Celsius, you want it to cool 50%. So your fans will be running at 50% when your GPU hits 50 Celsius. You can customize this how you want. There are presets. You can, I have it on custom usually, but you can do quiet or aggressive. Aggressive is, it's always going to be running basically. Up next is the GPU clock speed. So you can put this higher. Now you have to be careful because your graphics drivers will crash. you need to find a perfect balance between crashing and performance gain. So if you're like just doing +1 and it's crashing, then you probably shouldn't mess with it. But if you're able to go let's say 68%, which is my GPU's speed that it can reach. So at 68%, I know that my GPU is gonna be completely fine, and I'm gonna get a performance boost. Alright, this is very important as well. Open GeForce Experience or the AMD equivalent and update your drivers. Make sure they're always updated, no matter what. This will really help for Tarkov, because sometimes they release new updates, and it, for some reason, just increases the frame rate for most of your games, and it's pretty great. But especially for GeForce Experience, there's one thing you really got to be careful for, is automatically optimize newly added games. Make sure this is disabled. I'm not 100% sure, but I think Tarkov is maybe somewhere in this list. I haven't actually checked, but sometimes it'll automatically add games without you noticing, and it'll automatically optimize them. So let's say I just got Dirt Rally. It would automatically optimize it to what settings it think it is better for it. So I don't have a 4K display, so I can't. It wouldn't be good for this game to be automatically optimized, because I prefer 1080p at 144 Hz. Alright, now onto the game settings. This is probably the most important part of this, is customizing your game settings. Alright, once you're in game, you want to go to your settings, you want to go to graphics, disable limited 60 FPS, I don't know why that was enabled. You usually want to be running full screen. This is heavily recommended. You'll get frame drops all the time if it's on full screen mode. Usually I run at 1080p, but currently I'm in windowed mode, so the recording doesn't mess up. Alright, now onto the graphic settings. What's really important here is object LOD quality. Make sure that's at 2. Any higher, your game will just not work properly. The developer have confirmed that this is broken, so don't use this. Texture quality. This doesn't matter as much, especially if you have a lot of VRAM, but high will make you lose about 5 FPS, I feel. Whereas medium and low is pretty much similar. Shadow quality, that doesn't matter as much when you are in the low and medium settings, but high and ultra, you'll start losing some frame rates. So I recommend medium or low. Overall visibility, I just kept it default. Shadow visibility, I think I turned it down from 100 to 80. It doesn't affect as much, I feel, but I still prefer to have it 80 just in case. SSAO, keep that off. Contact SSAO off. SSR off. This word I can't pronounce, filtering. Per texture. You can do off as well, but I feel per texture just looks better. On, you will, there's a difference between on and per texture for some reason. I'm not sure what that is, but it's there. Anti-aliasing. FXA doesn't really affect performance as much, but it makes everything look blurry. So I recommend just turning it off and not using these two settings, because you will lose a lot of frames using these two settings. Sharpening. This is preference. Does not affect frame rate whatsoever, so keep it to wherever you want. I prefer it off. These three settings, they're aids, turn them off. And other than that, just copy my settings if you want good frame rate, and you should be good. Something else that's pretty important, I feel, is to go to your task manager. If you don't know how to get here, you can just right click here and then task manager, or if you know the shortcut, you can do that faster as well. Right click on escape from Tarkov, go to detail, right click on escape from Tarkov.exe, set priority, and do real time. What this will do is it will prioritize escape from Tarkov over any other processes. So Tarkov will be prioritized over anything else. Even if Google Chrome wants to use more GPU, Tarkov is just gonna take it. There's actually another way to get better performance in Escape from Tarkov that are a plus to the graphics settings that you get in-game. This will modify the in-game graphics settings externally. You do need an Nvidia graphics card for this. So you want to go to your control panel, then you want to go to manage 3D settings, you want to go to program settings, you want to add Escape from Tarkov to this. Afterwards, you want to go to maximum pre-rendered frames, you want to set that to 1. You want to go to power management mode, you want to do preferred maximum performance. Afterwards, you want to do preferred refresh rate, you want that to highest available. I believe this option is disabled if you don't have a high refresh rate monitor. Afterwards, you want to go to texture filtering, you want that on. You want texture filtering quality high performance, you want texture filtering on, you want threaded optimization on, vertical VSync off. It does affect frame rate, especially if you have a 60 Hz monitor, so be careful with that setting. Other than that, that's all the settings you need to change in here, and that should improve performance a lot for Escape from Tarkov. If any of these options helped, leave a comment below and I'll read it. If you have any other issues with the game, just message me, comments, I'll reply, always check them. You can join my Discord server, I might link it, might not, I don't know, I'm lazy. And other than that, happy hunting.